This right here is a 2005 Toyota 4Runner with the V8 motor that is pretty much bulletproof. And I only paid $1,000 for it. Now you may be wondering why such a low price point. There's a couple reasons why. The number one reason is it got into a front-end collision. The previous owner told me the story of how it happened. She was at a four-way stop, she went to go, and the person to the right of her blew through the stop sign and T-boned her in the front right corner. She ended up okay, but this car did take a pretty big hit. Unfortunately, the person who wrecked into her did not have any insurance. Rather than trying to go through the hassle of a lawsuit and lawyer fees, she opted just to take the complete loss and not go through her insurance. And that is how I ended up with this car and buying it from her. She's had this car for a long time. It's been very good to her. She never had any issues with it and really wants to see it back on the road, so hopefully I am able to do that. This SUV was about 2 hours away from me, a 4-hour round trip, and it took me about an hour to an hour and a half to load it onto my trailer, and that is because when AAA towed her car, they ended up losing the keys to it. So I was not able to turn the steering wheel or start it or anything like that. So I took the gamble, and hopefully this thing will be able to start once I get a new key for it. Looking up here in the front, it does look really bad, and I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty bad. I don't think it's unsavable though. The frame looks to be in pretty good shape. It was mainly this hood that got pushed over to the driver's side and also got pushed back into the windshield and put a big hole in it. Another big thing is this fender. It got pushed completely in, and also the inner fender and apron got really crunched in. It is very likely I'm gonna have to be cutting that out and replacing it all. Taking another look at this frame, at least in the front end section, it looks really good. You may notice this tire is cambered in at the top. I'm really banking on it just being the upper control arm or maybe the lower control arm. Maybe a bit of both. Really just hoping for anything other than the frame being bent. And even if the frame is bent, I think I'll be able to pull it back out. Taking a look around the whole vehicle, for being 20 years old, it's in pretty solid shape. Zero rust on it at all. And besides the actual collision damage, the rest of the body is in excellent shape. There's no dings or dents or scratches. The paint is faded, but for it being 20 years old, not too bad. Moving to the interior, it's a little bit different of a story. The dash is in terrible shape. I don't know if this is a common issue with this year 4Runner. All the leather on it is peeling up and cracking. Maybe we'll be able to find a dash in good shape, but I'm not too sure. Front seats are in okay shape, a little bit of rips on the passenger side and driver's side. Not too bad, but the rest of the interior just needs a little bit of cleaning up to do. And the carpet definitely needs cleaned, maybe even replaced. Ignore the big glass panel in the back. That is for my barn dominium build. My goal right now is definitely to see if it starts. Like I said, I need to get a key made, so tomorrow I think I have a locksmith coming out and hopefully making me one. And after that, and make sure it runs good, then we can start focusing on the actual bodywork and seeing if this thing is worth the saving. I don't know exactly how many miles are on it, but she did say it is over 300,000 miles. I know that sounds like a ton of miles, but these motors run forever. I've seen them with 600,000 miles. I've seen them with 800,000 miles. This SUV has definitely been through a lot, and I think it deserves a second chance at life in getting back on the road. Got a bit of miles on it. I was kind of expecting more. Not too bad. Starts right up and it sounds really good. There's no check engine light, just some ABS lights, probably from all that up there. The key was $150, that include programming it. All I had to do is take out this lock actuator and look at the code in the back, send that to him. He had it cut. When he showed up, it took him 5 minutes to program it, so all good there. Now that we know it runs, I can pull it in the back, start working on it. I guess I need to make sure this thing actually goes in the gear too. Definitely no power steering and leaking some kind of oil. Maybe power steering. I think that's power steering. It only started leaking after turning the steering wheel, so either that or maybe the brakes, but I think it's power steering. It's pretty crazy that this hood still even opens. Also pretty crazy that none of the airbags deployed. Pulled it out pretty good. Well, I got a lot done. I got a lot cut off. Took a Sawzall to it and cut out all that stuff I'm gonna end up replacing. There is more I'm gonna have to cut off, but I'm gonna have to drill out all these spot welds everywhere and replace this whole apron along with the front radiator support all the way over to about right here. I have to drill out all these spot welds as well. It's not too bad. I've done this on a Tacoma before. It's pretty much the same front end. Only thing I haven't done before is put on a new apron, but shouldn't be that big of a deal. Overall, not too many surprises underneath here. There's a couple sheared wires and plugs. The AC lines are pretty kinked, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace those. One thing that caught me by surprise is this is the pulley for the power steering pump, and it completely sheared off. So either have to find a new pump or maybe just a pulley. Maybe I'll just replace them both while it's right there. Radiator still has to come out because it has a leak down here somewhere. Not too bad. Hopefully I can find a parts car that has pretty much everything. I checked around to my local pick and pull yards. One of them has one the same year and the other one has one a couple years newer. They have been at the junkyard for a while, so I'm not sure how many parts are gonna be left. I did look online for a couple other little things. I wanted to place orders on those. I'm gonna get a list together of what I need to look for and look at and then head to the junkyard. They cut that off. That sucks. Fender's a little bent. I'll take it. I got quite a bit of good stuff from the junkyard, saved a lot of money that way. I wasn't able to get everything, but a good chunk of it. Start off with the most important part was this apron. Called an apron, inner fender, something like that. But this is in good shape. The only issue was the radiator support. Someone already cut it and moved it out of the way. I'm assuming they cut it, that way they can get the motor out of the car, because the motor and transmission and everything else was already picked off. But I was able to cut this out with a Sawzall in just like 20 minutes. Not too bad. Also got this plastic cowl cover. Also at the junkyard, I was able to get this inner fender along with the actual fender and the fender flare. This fender isn't in perfect shape. There's a couple dings right at the front right here, but nothing I can't take care of. I was also able to get a couple little pieces from there too, like some AC lines, and this is the door stopper for the driver's door that was broken off. All this at the junkyard cost me $100. Along with that, I also picked up a used hood. I got this off a marketplace for $50. I ordered a brand new front bumper along with some hood hinges and some other little things to get this thing pieced back together. Between rebuilding cars, filming videos, editing those videos, and pretty much doing everything by myself, life does get pretty busy. I don't always have time to run to the store and plan out my meals, but I still need to eat, and I don't like grabbing takeout all the time. That's where HelloFresh saves me. They drop off the box right at my doorstep. Everything is portioned out and ready to go. All I have to do is cook it. No grocery store runs, no stressing about what's for dinner. All of it is made simple, easy, and saves me so much time. And the new HelloFresh, way better than before. They doubled down on the menu size, so now you can swap out proteins or vegetables and make it exactly how you want it. It feels like having a customizable restaurant menu at home. Portion sizes are now spot on too. Before, it felt like chicken was the only option unless you paid extra. But now you can get steak and seafood at no extra cost. And speaking of meat, they also added high protein recipes, which make it easier to hit my protein goal without living off plain chicken and rice. And on nights when I'm slammed in the garage and don't have any time to cook a meal, they've got ready-made meals that are literally done in 3 minutes. Total lifesaver. Take advantage of the new HelloFresh by using my code right up here at HelloFresh.com. That gives you 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. That's 1 free meal per box with an active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on your first box. You can sign up today by scanning this QR code or checking out the link in my description. These meals are made easy and they taste really good. I'm gonna go enjoy this great dinner and then get back to work on this SUV. I have to say this thing is lining up better than expected, and it has been a little bit easier than expected. The hardest part being is that shock tower. It was about 2 inches back that way. It was pretty difficult pulling it back out because this frame is tough. I even welded a few plates on there just to sturdy it up a bit more. I'm sure it would have been fine, but that's just for my own peace of mind. And I want to make sure this thing is in safe condition for any future drivers. I'm going to replace pretty much all this stuff down here. It's just safe to do after a wreck because if anything's tweaked a little bit, it's gonna throw the whole alignment off. After I got the frame all situated, I worked on this inner fender and it's lining up pretty perfectly. I'm not gonna weld anything on until I get that front radiator support in, throw the hood on, throw both the fenders on and the bumper, make sure everything's lining up properly before we weld it up fully. Not too bad, a couple adjustments that need to be made, but it's looking really good. Body lines are pretty even. This needs to go in just a little bit more. This side's looking good. Headlights are lining up right. Front bumper went on. Fenders are going back on right. It all looks pretty good, just a little bit of minor touches to finish it up. One thing I would recommend is not buying these body parts aftermarket. This radiator support doesn't line up at all. What I mean is the holes that were drilled are not in the right spot at all. Over here, it's all lining up perfectly, but over here on the passenger side, they are all off by about ½ an inch. That's just been the main headache right now because I'm having to re-drill holes. And not to mention, they put one of the brackets on backwards, so I had to cut that out and re-weld it on. This radiator support is terrible. I wish I would have found a used one at a junkyard and then just spliced it all in one piece. That would have made aligning it way easier too. So since I went for the updated headlights and front bumper, I need to buy a couple new brackets for right here. They replace them in the newer years, so that's what I need to order. I also need to put the suspension back together, and I have a couple goodies that I'm pretty excited about. Ooh. Those look good. I've got some new rough country suspension, new struts, new coils in the rear, and they look awesome. Way better than what was on there. These are their monotube struts. I had something similar on my Jeep. Very comfortable ride, smooth, especially for a 6-inch lift kit. So I only expect this thing to be riding even better. Also got a new upper control arm as well, along with a couple other suspension things. Gonna go ahead and piece this back together, get it back on all 4 wheels. Hopefully it lines up pretty well. I don't know how easy it is to see on camera, but the wheel is still kicked in at the top a little bit. And I believe I narrowed it down to being the knuckle, because if you look right here, how close it is to the tire. And then we go on the driver's side, see how much more room we have over here. It's not a whole lot, but I think that's what it is. So it looks like we gotta go back to the junkyard. I was here like 3 days ago, and it's all gone. It's my luck. Well, the junkyard was a fail. I checked the other ones around me. They also didn't have this model 4Runner in. So I had to order a new hub assembly on eBay. That will be here in a couple days. In the meantime, we can start working on other things to finish this thing up and get it ready to put back together. As you can see, this apron is a different color than the rest of it, along with this radiator support. And even this side, it looks in pretty rough shape. So I'm gonna prep it all and get it ready for paint. Sand it down, scuff it up, put some seam sealer in all the spots I had to cut it out. Get all that ready to go, start spraying some paint. You may be wondering why I painted it black instead of back to the normal white color, and that is because I'm gonna have to be repainting probably half this car. White is a really hard color to match, and it makes it 10 times more difficult when this car is 20 years old. Half the car's paint is faded, the other half is all scratched up, so I might as well paint this black. That way if I do decide to color change it, this is all gonna be one uniform color, and black matches with everything. This saves me from taking it all back apart in the future when I do decide to paint this thing. I think this looks really good. I even added some texture to it. Yeah, I think this looks awesome. I'm gonna let this dry and then start piecing it all back together. Well, I was hoping to be further along in this first episode, but we did get to a really good point here. My original goal was to have this thing put together enough so we could take it for a test drive, test it all out before we put a ton of money into it. That didn't work out because I've already put quite a bit of money into this thing. But really the only thing preventing us from a test drive is that front knuckle, and that comes in here in a few days. Next episode, we're gonna get that installed and take this thing on a complete test drive. But while we're on the topic of price, let's go ahead and break through it real quick. I paid $1,000 for this car and then immediately bought a key that was $150. Next, I went to the junkyard and spent $150 there. Then I had to order a lot of parts online, and that adds up quite a bit. I'm right around $900 for parts I bought online. That's including the front bumper, radiator support, radiator, a lot of the other stuff that was broken up there that needed to get fixed to get this thing back on the road. So overall, I'll drop the total right down here. I gotta add it all up, but that is the total so far. Overall, I'm probably not gonna be making money on it, but this will be a really good daily driver for me coming up. Next episode, I'm gonna install the rest of that rough country lift kit. I got almost all the front end all put together. Only thing left is the back end, which is new springs and new shocks. I'm gonna replace all the bushings and stuff while I'm back there. Speaking of rough country, they've been a big contributor to this channel. I've used their stuff on my old Jeep, my dad's truck, my old Beetle. Everything I've gotten from them is awesome and works super well. I even got a little bit more stuff coming in from them we're gonna install in this car. Also in the next episode, we're gonna dig into the interior. We gotta figure out what to do with that dash, either find a replacement for it, maybe put a cover on it. Also, the seats are 20 years old, so they're showing a lot of wear. Specifically, that driver's seat has a big rip in it. I wanna get all that fixed and looking right. Another thing is this carpet, it's all stained up, looks really gross in there. I wanna get all that cleaned up and looking good. And the last thing on the interior is get those lights off the dash. We gotta get that fixed. Overall, I'm happy with the stopping point. Let me know in the comment section down below how you guys are liking this build. What do you guys think about a color change? Should I paint it back to white? Or should I go a completely different color or do something absolutely crazy? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, you guys can check out my Instagram. I post a lot behind the scenes on what's coming up on the channel. I even posted sneak peeks of this and even sneak peeks of the colors I'm looking at. You can check me out there if you want to. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next episode.